Well, understanding the need to address academic integrity in the School of Business, one of the things we decided to do was to try to nip things in the bud. So what we did was we actually came up with a module that showed a video to students and kind of explained in an easy to understand way, in a very visual way, what comprises academic integrity and what cheating is, what plagiarism is, what those things look like from a visual point of view. And then what we did was we challenged the students to then take a test, and it was a multiple choice test, just so that they're clearly being able to demonstrate that they understand all of the components of academic integrity. And what we decided to do was put this module together and try and get it to the students right away. So the challenge was, how do we reach the students in an effective way? So we actually chose a course. It's a mandatory course in all the business programs, and that's organizational behavior. And it's embedded into the course, right into Blackboard. Students log into Blackboard, they take the module, they watch the videos, they do the tests, and from there they're able to demonstrate that they understand all the components of academic integrity. Now, the reason why we did this was not to be punitive, so after the fact we can go, well, you did this, you should know better. It's not the case. The idea is to educate the students up front so they understand what academic integrity is and what their responsibilities are as a student. Now, one of the things that we find in the School of Business, it's not just anecdotal, it's actually backed up by the data, is there seems to be a higher increase in academic misconduct coming from our international student base. And so one of the things that I decided to do was try to really educate myself as to why that is. And one of the things that we were able to come up with was being able to find out that there's a cultural component to this, that in some cultures it's not considered to be a misconduct in any way. So being able to get our heads around that and understand where the students are coming from, not to mention the pressure that these students are under. All students are under pressure, but international students particularly, coming into a new country, learning a new language, the whole culture shock of everything, and then on top of that, the financial burdens that they're under, and then they've got to perform academically, and there's a lot of pressure there. So understanding that, understanding where they're coming from, has allowed us to maybe be a little bit more empathetic in dealing with the situation. So we can, again, try to nip that in the bud a little earlier through education rather than punitively after the fact. Well, I mean, when it comes to students making a decision to, be involved in academic misconduct, there's always choices. But the thing is, too, there's always help, to be had. We have, there's peer tutors, there's peer mentors. Faculty are constantly available through office hours and during breaks in class, after class, to try and help. So there is definitely lots of help. I understand that there's a lot of pressure involved, but I mean, the thing is, if there's ever any gray area where a student is thinking, I don't know, is this academic misconduct, is it not? Usually the gut check usually works. If you're not supposed to be doing this, or you should be maybe quoting this is someone else's words, in terms of plagiarism, you usually have a pretty good idea. And if you don't know, make sure you ask. It's always good. I mean, there's lots of resources through the library. There's lots of things such as, for whatchamacallit, losing my train of thought because my phone's going off. There's definitely lots of resources available through places like the library and things like Sites and Sources, and lots of resources like that. So there definitely is alternatives to cheating.